Hello everyone, it is I, Republic Studs, and welcome to Ask the Stud, episode 8. Hey guys, before we get in all this, I just want to quickly say, and I've put this out on my Instagram and on my channel page, that my dog Sadie passed away this week, which obviously I'm very sad about. I've had her for 14 long years, and she's been in a lot of videos, a lot of vlogs, and that sort of stuff, and I just wanted to let you guys know I've been a little off all week, and I probably will be for the next month or however long. It's gonna be a while. So I just kind of wanted to let you all know who watch the videos and make aware. And yeah, she was a good girl and I'll really miss her a lot. But with that said, let's get into it. And also feel free to ask your questions with the hashtag AskTheStuds in the comment section. I will be answering them obviously in the next coming weeks. And yeah, so we'll get right into it. Also feel free to hit the subscribe button. Again, I really appreciate it. Now first up, we have a question from Taylor Hauser, who's a member. You guys know members get priority. Taylor asks, what are the chances we get some Rebel Hoth Troopers sets to go alongside the Hoth Battle Pack and ATSD? And which Rebels, besides the Snowspeeder, do you think they can make? Here's my thing. First off, there is a very strong possibility, and a lot of people have pointed this out, that the minifigure packs, that one of those could be a Hoth Rebel one, which I hope that it isn't. I really hope that it's going to be something cool and based off of TV shows, whether that be Mandalorian, Clone Wars, Bad Batch, or otherwise. But I think that's a very strong possibility, however, to have, your Rebel army. And I think that's something certainly interesting. We obviously did get all of the new, January sets revealed, other than the Mandalorian Razor Crest. But we did get the ATST and the Snow Troopers, which is all very cool looking. And I think they did a great job with those. I love the little Hauser. It's all great. Obviously, $20 price tag. I'm going to talk about that probably in a separate video. And yeah, so other than a Snowspeeder, I think there's a possibility they just do one of those kind of battle action sets, and they've done a lot of Hoth sets in the last couple of years, a lot of them, between the juniors type sets and just the action sets, and they just did an AT-AT last year. They did the Tauntaun versus AT-AT Microfighter earlier this year, and then obviously we have this whole line of sets. And honestly, I hope they kind of chill with Hoth. I get why they're doing it with the UCS AT-AT and everything. But it's getting a little exhausting in my opinion. Hoth is a great battle and one of the great battles of the original movies. But I feel like there's so much more they could be doing that would sell just as well. So I hope they chill on that. And in terms of Rebel stuff, the Snowspeeder is obviously the obvious pick. I see them doing it probably a Snowspeeder soon. Once the juniors one is off shelves, then we'll probably see another Snowspeeder. With that said, let's get into the next question from Ninja Ozzy. What do you think the next UCS prequel set will be? Now, I've divided this into a few categories, and I'll say the most likely, and then after that, I'm going to cover which ones from each movie that I think would be likely to come out. So first off, I'd say the most likely overall to come out would be a Episode 2 Geonosis ATTE. I think this makes a ton of sense. It would go great alongside the UCS gunship, first of all. I think that one's strongly possible to happen this year if there is not a Master Builder Series set of some sort. With that being said, I think, again, that's a great one. Probably $350. Again, another Walker design, so you have the AT-AT and the ATTE to contrast with, which I think would be a great thing. And yeah, I think that would be a really neat little set. Now, if they were to go along the lines of something from the Phantom Menace, I think the number one ship they would likely make is the droid control ship. I'm kind of shocked that hasn't happened already. The droid control ship, obviously, is pretty iconic from that movie, and I think it would be a great set. And there's a possibility it might not be UCS, but I have a feeling it's coming soon. And there's also totally a possibility they do another Naboo Starfighter, which I believe they did as a UCS set. So that's a possibility I'll throw out too. Now, I feel like if they did do something from Revenge of the Sith, it would almost certainly be Anakin's Jedi Starfighter. As much as I would love it to be a Venator, I feel like that one just seems like a more likely type of set, and that would actually be kind of cool. I'd be down to see a UCS Anakin's Jedi Starfighter. That would just picturing that in my head looks kind of sick. And with that said, let's get into the next question from Brick Knight. Have you watched Gravity Falls, and if so, do you think LEGO will ever make something from the show? Now, yeah, I used to watch that show a ton when I was younger. And I loved it. I loved the Grunkle Stan character. It was a very fun show. And it was very deep in its own lore or whatever. And I think that's really kind of neat. And you don't see that a lot with, I guess, kid shows. I don't know. There's a lot of age ranges watch it. But yeah, I actually did see recently this guy on YouTube, Brick. He has like 60,000 something subscribers. He put together this beautiful mock that's on Lego Ideas that he's submitting to try and become a set. I voted for it, and I think it looks great. I really like it. I encourage you all to check it out. Now, do I think it'll become a set? Not unless they do something relevant to it. Now, with the Muppet CMF we're getting next year, I'm almost certain there's probably going to be some sort of Muppet event going on next year. They haven't announced it yet, but it kind of makes a lot of sense if they're going to release that, because, you know, you need to have something coinciding it. Like with the Looney Tunes CMF, you had Space Jam coming out, so it's kind of that sort of thing. So if they do some sort of Disney Plus Gravity Falls thing, which I think is a likely possibility, they could do some sort of special show, then yeah, I think that's a possible set, but I don't see them doing anything in the near future, I guess. But that's just my throwing that out there. I think that would be great. I'd love to see something from that show. I would certainly buy it. There would probably be some sort of like $100 type set, same style as Winnie the Pooh. But yeah. Next up, we have a question from Weekly Brick. Now, he asks, if you had to change your channel name, what would it be changed to? Now, first off, I don't intend on changing my channel name, especially no time soon. So you know, if there's whatever reason I decided I wanted to drop the Republic, I'd make my channel name Studs. So yeah, that's my answer. I would probably name it like Studs just to abbreviate it, because I feel like abbreviated things just make a lot of sense. But I like the Republic Studs things, and I think it works well. So that's my answer for you in short. But I really don't intend on doing that. I like to be a little more specific than that, because like, oh, who's Studs? And, you know, if I got more popular, I think I could possibly do that, but we'd have to wait and see. Next up, we have a question from ThatClassicBrick, another channel member. He asks, do you think LEGO will make a Moff Gideon's TIE Fighter? He also asked if they would make more solo sets. I've answered that on a previous episode of Ask the Stud. But to be frank, unless we see it appear in, like, Mando Season 3, or just becoming an extraordinarily relevant thing, like a flagship of a series, I don't think that we will. We have the current TIE Fighter that came out, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon, I don't think. And, you know, I don't really see the relevance to why they would do that as opposed to something else. I mean, it had the folding wings that fold weirdly, but that would be the only different thing. And, you know, that's kind of my thought process with that. I mean, they might do it eventually, but I don't really see it happening anytime in the near future, and even if it did, I think it's very scanty that it's like just a Moff Gideon one, because we've seen them. They're not the only version. Like, there are other characters that use them, so maybe it wouldn't even necessarily be Moff Gideon's. Maybe it would be from sort of future Star Wars media that we haven't seen yet. After that, we have a question from Maxmeme Gollarth. I'm not going to pronounce that. Do you think there's a chance we'll get a Commander Cody Phase 2 minifigure in the accessory packs? By the way, love the videos. Thank you very much. Now, first off, I just want to say this, as much as it pains me, and I would love to think that there would be, but no, I do not. Now, first off, I don't have enough faith that LEGO would do a Cody, at least in that type of set. I mean, they had the perfect opportunity to do one in the General Grievous Starfighter, but they did not, which, again, lost shot. They had a perfect chance to do it, and I don't think that they're going to do it now. I mean, there's a possibility. It's possible, because they've kind of alluded to, like, they want to make it available in a cheaper set. So, you know, again, I'm not going to write it off completely, but I don't personally think so. And on top of that, they'd have to have like a new whole helmet mold, because it would have to come with the special visor and everything, and I don't think LEGO wants to do a whole new mold. That seems like a lot of work. So it's just sad and unfortunate, but I believe the case. Again, I would know, I more than anyone else love to be proven wrong on this note, but I'm not entirely confident. And then after that, we have a question from Plo Koon Productions. Do you think that LEGO would consider making a Dropship and ATOT style set, but with a Venator versus the Invisible Hand, probably in 2025 if it happened at all? Now, I'm not 100% sure what's going on with the last question, with the last half of that, so I'm going to answer the first. Now, with the ATOT and Dropship, I'm not 100% sure, but I think I could see them doing it again. I don't see it as an unlikely thing. They'd have to revisit you know, the Clone Wars, or at least, you know, just the Republic in general, and that would have to be like a big shift. They'd have to really shift, and I don't think they're going to make that shift. I think they're kind of in this phase, because LEGO keeps doing better and better money-wise. Like, they, you know, are growing every year, and they're saying, if this is working, why would we go back to that? And unfortunately, I feel like that's just going to be the way it's kind of going to run, where every 2 years, 3 years now, we're going to be getting the same Luke's X-Wings and Imperial shuttles, and it's going to start getting very stale. And, you know, you'll get a creative set in there every now and then, I'm not knocking that, but in terms of things that aren't from new media, I don't see a lot of creativity coming out of old media, unfortunately. Now, next up, we have a question from Lego Builder 76. What is the clear case you use on the back shelf that houses all your minifigures? Now, this over here is an iDisplayIt stand. Now, I love the guys over at iDisplayIt. They actually sent me that one for free. It's a really cool little stand. You know, I think it's got some problems, like in terms of being, you know, like put together. But other than that, it's a really nice one. I'd really recommend you guys get it. Actually, it makes the figures look nice. I think it just adds a nice little. I like it a lot. It's a really cool looking thing. I've seen Brix has done some too, so you could look at those too. I just want to give you guys all the options possible. But yeah, it looks nice. That is the stand I have right behind me. You can check that out. Next up, we have a question from Bread Productions. Do you think that in the future Lego would make Shrek Swamp? A lot of questions about sets Lego would make. Yeah, they're gonna do something Shrek, without a doubt. I have zero doubts about it. My friend the New Builder will be very happy about this. They're going to do something Shrek. Give it 5 years. It doesn't matter. It's going to happen with the way they've been expanding and doing all these different themes. I'm sure they're going to do Shrek. I have zero doubts about that. Let's move into the next one. Next up, we have a question from Imperial Shocker. Why do you think Lego has not done a TIE bomber? It's been 17 years since the last one. And also, why do you think haven't gotten things in a while like the B-Wing Starfighter? It's been 7 years since that one too. Thanks. Now, I think it's been actually, next year it'll be 8 years. But yeah, so I think when it comes time, and here's my general thought process. When it comes time for Lego to decide what sets they want to make, they look at Imperial ships and they say, okay, which one is most iconic? Which one will sell the best? So they'll look at TIE Fighter and they'll say the TIE Fighter. That will sell way better than this like weird looking TIE Fighter. And same type of thing with a B-Wing. Like they'll have like a bunch of Rebel ships they can make. They have an A-Wing, a Y-Wing, an X-Wing, and a B-Wing. Unfortunately, most people don't know what a B-Wing is. So like if you see the other three, at least you'll kind of, you know what they are. The X-Wing and Y-Wing especially, which is why they usually get remade the most. And the B-Wing, unfortunately, is not as prominent of a ship. No main character really flew those around. Which is why we have not gotten them in a while, I'm guessing. I mean, you look at the amount of times they've re-released a TIE Fighter compared to the amount of times they've re-released a B-Wing. It's obviously very different. Or again, Y-Wing compared to X-Wing compared to B-Wing. Like, it's no real comparison. We've gotten like 5 X-Wings, 6 X-Wings in the last 5 years, and we haven't gotten a B-Wing in 7 years, which sounds ridiculous, but that's kind of why they do it, just because the X-Wings are more iconic. And with that said, that rounds up this episode of Ask the Stud. I want to ask you all to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. We're coming close to episode 10 now. We might switch some things up, so yeah, that's pretty exciting. With that said, I'll see you guys all in the next one. Remember to peace out and stay awesome.